First 2 career home runs. The ball was collected for the rookie, and Shane collected his first Yankee Stadium curtain call. However, not just youth, but experience serves this squad as Luis Sojo filled in at first, but ended up at third on a triple, and after his wind sprint was over, he received a well-deserved air conditioning on the bench. So both young and old helped the Bombers on their historic chase, and everybody wants to see what happens next. We'll all find out on the WB11.
New York Yankees baseball, live on the WB11.
From Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, WB11 Sports proudly present New York Yankees baseball. Today, the Yankees beat the Kansas City Royals. The starting pitchers for today's game are Glendon Rusch for the Royals and Orlando Hernandez for the Yankees. Hello, everybody. I'm Bobby Mercer. Welcome to New York Yankees baseball here on the WB11. The Yankees completed a sweep of the Kansas City Royals yesterday in that split doubleheader, the first time they've had it here at Yankee Stadium in 34 years. It was a big night for the Yankees, and the Yankees now are a perfect 6-0 against Kansas City. Please say hello to Susan Walbott. Let me ask you, Susan, have you ever been frightened?
Oh, sure. I'm frightened all the time.
Well, a lot of us are frightened all the time. Well, I can imagine what the rest of the baseball world is thinking about today, because what the Yankees have left in the wings and what Shane Spencer did last night.
And 26-year-old Shane Spencer, first of 2 home runs. Here's the first one off of Chris Haney. Hal Morrison, left field, thinks he's got it. A fan says otherwise, but there is going to be no doubt about the next one, Bobby, off of Matt Whisen, and this is going into the upper deck. 5 for 5 for the 26-year-old up from Columbus, making the most of his time in the big leagues, and he even gets a curtain call.
What a happy time for him. In fact, his mother was in the stands to watch him in that big night last night. 5 for 5, his first career home run here at Yankee Stadium. In fact, he hit 2. He also added 3 RBIs, last Yankee player to have a 5-hit game here at Yankee Stadium. Cecil Fielder against the Chicago White Sox. Susan Walbott had a chance to catch up with Shane Spencer before today's ball game, and she asked him what it was like last night in that 5 for 5 duty. Here's what he had to say.
I'm just ecstatic that people even know who I am. So, especially on this team where everybody knows who they are, and especially Yankee baseball, you know, it's right field especially. Those people are wild out there, and I'm still, I don't think it's hit me yet.
One of the things that I find terrific is that your mom was here, and it was the first time she'd seen you play, and she probably thinks that this is what major leaguers do all the time.
Oh, I made sure I let her know that this doesn't happen all the time, but she was so happy last night, and then she was crying, and, you know, it's a great moment for her just to come out here, and, you know, it made me feel good that she was here, too.
What did it make you feel like when the fans were chanting for you to come out at a curtain call? Were you a little reticent to do that? Did the guys tell you, go on, get out there?
Well, I heard them yell, and they kept on yelling, and I got down there, and Joe told me to go out there and do it, so I said, okay, no problem. I'll go out there, and I'm just happy that I can actually feel like I'm a part of something.
Well, what a good-looking young man he is.
Yes, he is. It looks like the natural, doesn't he?
He certainly does. Well, we want to talk about pitching now, so we'll go to our resident pitching expert, and that's Tommy John. Welcome, Tommy.
Thank you.
What about Orlando Hernandez? Good outing in his last outing. He had a poor outing against Anaheim before that, though.
I think the outing against the Angels was good for him because it made him say, hey, not everything is gold, and right there was a hanging breaking ball Matt Stairs took out of the ballpark. He has a hard time against left-handers, but if he can make pitches like this, it widens the plate and it makes him much more effective. Against right-handers, it's a piece of cake. He has that sidearm breaking ball that renders him useless. He's got to be effective against left-handers to be good for the Yankees today.
Well, he has been all right. He's the big O, Orlando El Duque Hernandez. And as Tommy was saying in his last start against Oakland, what a performance he had there. He went 9 innings, only gave up 1 run on 3 measly little hits. 8 strikeouts in that ball game, too. Well, the Yankees continue their series against Kansas City. Susan, Tommy, and I will be back with the starting lineups right after this. Please stay with us.
One question I get a lot is about this up here. Is it real? And looking at some...
The Toyota Camry, the #1 selling car in America, Toyota every day. Based on the R&L Pope 1997 total passenger car registration. And by Corona Extra, change your whole attitude. And by The Wiz for total entertainment. Nobody beats The Wiz, a cable vision company. And it is truly a perfect and beautiful day for Yankee baseball. And before today's game, it was family day for the New York Yankees. That's Joe Torre posing with some Beanie Babies. And then Mariano Rivera, followed by Mariano Jr. On the field. It's always a great day to take a lot of pictures. Ernie Williams and family. And they will have that picture to look forward to looking at somewhere down the road about 18 years. Say, remember that.
Bobby, that was one of my favorite days.
Mine too. Well, let's take a look at the starting lineup for Kansas City, brought to you by Corona. Corona Extra. Change your whole attitude. For Kansas City, Johnny Damon will lead off, followed by Morris and then Offerman with that 27-game hitting streak. Palmer, King, Sutton, Lea, Sweeney, and Lopez make up the rest.
Here's a Yankee defense. Brocious, Jeter, Knobloch, Martinez, Posada on the infield, O'Neill, Williams, and yes, Paul, Shane Spencer can play left field.
And we are ready to go, and Hernandez's first pitch to Damon is in there for a called strike. There he is, TJ. He has got to be feeling, as pumped as anybody in baseball today. Damon trying to bunt his way on. He pops it back behind home plate and out of play, so it's an 0-2 count now. El Duque against Damon. As we check Hernandez's numbers out, he's 6-3, 3.35 earned run average. And like a lot of these Yankee pitchers, they just don't walk anybody, and he has 72 strikeouts.
About a strikeout an inning and about 3 walks every 9 innings. That's pretty daggone good.
Joe Torre looking on along with Mel Stottlemyre. They have their sunglasses on this beautiful sunshiny day. And this ball club, 82-29 is the record for this ball club in 1998. They are on a record pace to break the all-time winning record. Popped up behind third base, but Jeter is there to take care of it. So there's one gone here at the top of the first. Johnny Damon has had a pretty good series. He came into that at bat 4 for 8 with a home run against New York. So one gone, and that will bring up Hal Morris, the other left-handed bat. So Tony Muser, TJ, has tried to stick as many left-handed bats in there against Hernandez as he can. And the first pitch to Morris in there for a call strike. Morris batting .311, 1 home run, 28 RBIs. He's only 3 for 20 against the Yankees this year. Not a whole lot of damage from him.
You know, on my way into the ballpark today, I thought I saw Muser on the Deegan with a sign up saying left-handed hitters come out to the stadium, we'll give you work.
Left-handed hitters wanted for Yankee Stadium Saturday and Sunday afternoon, especially Saturday, right? On the ground towards the right side. Knobloch is there, and there's 2 gone here at the first. Knobloch has had some problems throwing the ball from second to first, but all in all, he has always been pretty solid.
That ball, Chuck almost overran the ball, and then you see him right there. He didn't really take a stride.
It set himself, yeah.
I think that's his problem. He throws without getting his feet underneath him. And, you know, maybe just a little talk with Mel Stottlemyre, you know, about what you've got to do to kind of get your feet under you and step to where you throw.
All right, here's Jose Offerman. And Jose Offerman with a 27-game hitting streak on the line, and he is having a pretty good year. As we take a look at that 27-game hitting streak, he's batting .437 with a couple of home runs, 15 RBIs. And last night in the second game, as Stottlemyre looks on, Offerman hit one off of Bernie Williams' glove in his last at bat that turned out to be a triple to extend that streak. This is down the left field line, long run for Shane Spencer, and it's back in the stand. Spencer, as you can see, he plays with the sunglasses down all the time in the field. But now Hernandez in front of Offerman, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Good crowd on hand for this third game of this 4-game series between Kansas City and New York.
Bobby, here's a count that really hurts El Duque in that if a right-hander's up, he can drop down and throw the sidearm slider. But with a left-hander, his best pitch is taken away from him, and he's got to work and figure out what he's got to do. Maybe get a little more tilt, a little more vertical drop action on the breaking ball to left-handers.
That's down low. That'll leave the count up at 2-2. El Duque went 9 innings in his win against Oakland in his last start. And the breaking ball, that's pulled foul just above the Yankee dugout. Hernandez making his 12th major league start today. And a big surprise for the Yankees here in 1998 and what he has done. That's Jeter at short. And he will throw out Opperman. So El Duque goes through Kansas City 1-2-3 here in the top of the first. No score. Yankees coming up.
From the moment their lives touched, she knew she must fight.
The New York Yankees battle the Texas Rangers on Thursday, August 13th and Friday the 14th, both at 7:30. Then on Saturday the 15th at 1 and Sunday the 16th at 1:30. On the 13th, fans 21 and older will receive an insulated cooler bag, compliments of Hormel and Land O'Lakes. On the 15th, all fans will receive a 1958 World Series replica pin, compliments of Chase Manhattan Bank. On the 16th, fans 14 and under will receive a Zoob toy, compliments of Primordial. Get your tickets now.
Welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Bobby Mercer along with Tommy John. Susan Wallman will join us. And just like we do up here, before we go on stage, we put our makeup on, and so do the Yankees. That's Posada getting his makeup applied for this bright, sunshiny day. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the New York Yankees, brought to you by Corona. Corona Extra, change your whole attitude. Knobloch, Jeter, O'Neill, Williams, Martinez, Raines, Posada, Shane Spencer gets the start again in left field this afternoon, followed by Brocious.
Here's Kansas City starting defense. Sutton, Damon, Morris in the outfield. King, Sweeney, Leyes, Lopez, and second base, Jose Offerman. Couldn't play shortstop in the National League. Turned him over to second base in the American League.
And Glendon Rusch's first pitch to Knobloch in there for a called strike. Rusch with a terrible year on hand right now, 6-14, a high earned run average. Look at those hits to innings pitched. He throws that fastball by Knobloch. Now he's 0-2. What does that tell you?
It tells you he's throwing some balls over the plate, and he pitches behind in the count a lot, Bobby. And when you pitch behind in the count against this Yankee ball club, you're messing with the dynamite.
On the ground, foul off the third base side.
You know, you hear the Kansas City coaches and everybody said this kid's got good stuff, got a good live fastball, good breaking ball, pitches on the inside part of the plate. Bruce Keese and Tony Muser right there love him, but he's just got to learn to pitch, and he's doing it on the job in the big leagues.
Yeah, he's only 23 years old, but career against the Yankee, lifetime career against New York, he's 0-3 with almost an 8 earned run average. Hit pretty hard, but right to the shortstop Lopez, so one gone. Got in on the hands a little bit, but
we'll see the catcher inside, and that's that little cut fastball, and it's just enough to get around the label or trademark on the bat.
Lopez is short, and since Jay Bell has departed this Kansas City ball club, Tony Muser's out with another sign saying if you can play shortstop, see me after the game. And Derek Jeter, first pitch, base hit for Jeter. And the first of the game for the Yankees. So a one-out base hit for Derek Jeter as he continues his hot hitting. And Jeter had many, many fans here in New York and around the baseball world, and most of them are pretty young and good looking.
Well, the thing that he pitches behind in the count, and he's trying to pitch out in front, trying to throw strikes. And it's one thing to throw strikes, and it's one thing to throw good strikes, but that ball was low, out over the plate for a base hit.
So Jeter is on with 23 stolen bases. He has been caught only 5 times. And what a duo the Yankees have, as Paul O'Neill will step in. Pitch outside to O'Neill with that .315 batting average. He'll add 17 home runs to that and already 82 RBIs as you take a look at the American League leaders in base hits. And Paul O'Neill always up in that category, along with Jose Offerman playing in this game. And another breaking ball, this time in there for a called strike. Derek Jeter on at first base. I was mentioning what a duo. 23 steals by Knobloch and also by Derek Jeter, the first middle infielders in Yankee history to each have 20 or more steals in the same season. One on a miss, strike two. Now it's 1-2 on O'Neill. That's almost unbelievable if you base the 23 World Championships that this franchise has had.
Pretty good fastball right there in a good spot, up and in. Now he's out in front, 1 ball, 2 strikes. See what he does. Started him off with a couple breaking balls. I think he'll go back outside with a curveball.
And he does. It's a little bit of a slider on the outside corner. A perfect pitch from Rusch. So his first strikeout, 2 gone here the first. Dropped down.
Yeah, I kind of like that.
Yeah.
He dropped down earlier and really looks good. It's you know, Paul didn't like it. He got a strike called. He told Richie Garcia back at the plate, Richie, I really don't like it. I know you're going on vacation tomorrow, but daggone it.
Well, nobody likes to get struck out, and nobody likes the strikeout, I guess, is better words of wisdom. As Garcia looks on and Bernie Williams steps in. That's back up the middle and hit hard, but Offerman is there, so he forces the runner at second. And the Yankees will leave a man on here in the bottom of the first. Still no score here at the stadium. Second inning, Rabu getting some work in down in the Yankee bullpen right now. Kansas City coming to bat here in the top of the second inning. The Yankees continue their battle against this American League Central when they square off against the Minnesota Twins for a 3-game set starting on Monday, August the 10th, and Tuesday, August the 11th. Both at 7:30. Then on Wednesday, August the 12th at 1 o'clock. On Wednesday the 12th, all fans will receive a Yankee pad and pin. Set compliments of Bell Atlantic Mobile. And tickets are available now at the stadium and also through Ticketmaster. And boy, could we use a pad and pin up here. I'll be glad when that day comes around. Finally, I'll get me a pad and a pin. Be able to keep score as Dean Palmer steps in for Kansas City. Palmer represents power on this ball club with 25 home runs, 77 RBIs, 280 batting average. That's out of play. Palmer with 13 RBIs in his last 9 games for Kansas City. And in his last 12 games, batting .326 with 5 home runs. Most of that has come as a designated hitter, which kind of messes up Tony Muser and his lineup, though.
Palmer, pretty good third baseman, and played very, very well. Tony Muser right there would love to have him back out at third base.
He's had to play a few guys out of position because of Palmer being on the side a little bit with a sore right foot. And only able to DH for Kansas City. Swing and a miss. That's what El Duque does best. Boy, he takes care of the right-handed bat. So his first strikeout of the game.
Watch this sidearm breaking ball, but he takes a little off of it. Yeah, he's throwing him something hard, and that's just a little off-speed breaking ball. And you watch him, he's out in front, and you just can't stay back. And if you stay back, then he'll throw something hard by you. He's tough on right-handers, Bobby.
Well, here's another one right here, Jeff King. And a pretty good stick he is, 280 batting average. 272 batting average, 21 home runs, 79 RBIs for King. King is a legitimate 100 RBI guy, and also can bang anywhere between 25 and 40 home runs in a year. Kansas City made the trade with the Pittsburgh Pirates because they needed to add that power. They needed some home run power, and that's where they got Dean Palmer to go along with that. last 9 games, he has been one of the hot sticks along with Offerman and also Palmer. That's down low. Now it's 3 balls and a strike. Tommy, right-handers coming into this game batting only .153 against Hernandez, as the left-handers bat .320. How about this here?
Well, he has that funky high leg kick, but the thing is, when he drops down and throws the ball, he's got a little juice on it with his fastball.
King pops it up, and Posada is there to put it away on a 3-1 pitch, and 2 gone. I think Evans Posada got that makeup on just in time.
Oh, man, yes. I think, you know, he could have gone into wardrobe and maybe had a wig or something on later. But going back, watch him catch the ball just like an outfielder. And that ball will always come back towards the infield. That's the rule of catching.
Well, the makeup we talk about is that
now you couldn't wear that, could
black
you?
stuff underneath the eyes to cut down the glare, as Larry Sutton steps in, the rookie right fielder. No, I couldn't. I tried it one time, put it underneath my eyes because I wanted to look mean and like everybody else. And by the time I got to the outfield, I had it all in my eye, and I had to come back in and wash it all off. So that was it for me. I just had to gut it out from that point on. That's the reason they made me a designated hitter. Off the end of the bat, and Rusch is in foul territory, will make the play. So 6 in a row now set down by Hernandez. They played 1.5, still no score here at the stadium.
It's tennis on the edge of your seat.
Coming up, no score here at the stadium. So let's check out the upcoming telecast brought to you by Ford. Expect more, get more. Let your Tri-State quality Ford dealers show you why there's more to afford. We got the conclusion of this Royal Series tomorrow at 1:30 right here on the WB11. And we turn it over to MSG Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. 2 7:35 games and a Wednesday 1 o'clock game. Ken Singleton and Jim Cott will be calling the action for you, as Tino Martinez leads it off for the Yankees here in the bottom of the 2nd. Well hit ball into right field and past King for a base hit. So Martinez continues his hot hitting.
Pretty good pitch, down and away. Catcher down there on his knees. Look at this. A little breaking ball, but Tino stayed back and just hooked it in the hole between first and second.
Tino had 3 RBIs in the first game yesterday. Now has 6 hits in his last 11 at bats. And Tim Raines, the designated hitter this afternoon, steps in with a .295 average, 4 home runs, 37 RBIs. Well hit into center field, but Johnny Damon will gather under it to make the catch, and there's 1 gone. Well, the Yankees, the last 3 weeks to 4 weeks for New York have been a pretty tiring 3 to 4 weeks. They've been on the road quite a bit. They are just returning from the West Coast and played the first split doubleheader here at Yankee Stadium in 34 years. Last time they did it was in I think 1964. Mel Stottlemyre, in fact, pitched the first game of that split doubleheader. But it's a pretty tiring day, and it's a long day for everybody. 1 o'clock game, and then they come back and play a 7:35 game.
That's tough. And then to back that up, you're out of here about 11:30 or so at night, and then you got to come right back for a day game.
Yeah. It's about a 12, 13, 14-hour day. And this is Jorge Posada. I know that when Dulio started the first game, his hair was black, and when he left here last night, it turned gray. That's just how long. See?
What was left of it.
And it's still gray, by the way. Posada out in front of that one, pops it up on the right side. King in foul territory, and there's 2 gone. That'll bring up Shane Spencer, the rookie left fielder. What a night he had last night. He was 5 for 5, and this is what he did best. He sent one deep in the left field, into the stands, off the glove of Hal Morris for his first major league home run. And what did he do after that? He just sent one Look, no problem. I'm not going to let Morris touch this one. Off the facade in left field. And he comes out for his first curtain call here at Yankee Stadium. And, man, what a night it was for him. And he's had a grin on his face ever since, and I don't blame him.
He has every right to have a grin. You know, we commented last night that his first 2 times up, he had runners on first base. And instead of trying to pull the ball, he went try to hit the ball in the hole, which he did. 2 balls to the right side. Not only he hits like a veteran.
And he just gets underneath this one here. I mean, this has some hang time. We could go through the alphabet before that ball comes down. He almost got another one on that one. The Yankees are gone. They leave another man on. No score.
What the hell is Ansky?
Oh, that's I didn't do good at all.
Slide back.
Hey, what is that? There you go.
Nice, right?
Yanks.
Yankees.
Yay! Let's go! All right!
Dumb son of
We got next. People get ready. Get into the spirit. Come on, join in, everybody. Everybody join in. Working together, mind and soul. Dreaming, believing. It's where you want to be. Oh, join in, everybody. Everybody join in. Everybody join.
New York Yankees baseball is sponsored by Jeep, the most awarded-winning brand of 4x4s on earth. And welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Bobby Mercer along with Tommy John. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. 6 up and 6 down for El Duque. And Scott Leyes, the 3rd baseman, steps in. He will be followed by Mike Sweeney and then Mendy Lopez.
I really believe El Duque could throw more fastballs even to the left-handers and also to the right-handers. Right there, he popped the fastball on Leyes because he throws so many breaking balls. You know that's in their mind, and his fastball is good enough that he can pitch inside with it.
That's fouled out of play, so a quick 0-2 count now on Leyes.
Now he can, with the fastball away for a strike, a fastball inside for a strike. Now he can drop down and wheel and deal.
Well, you were talking about right-handed batters and versus the left-handed bat. Big difference there. That's another pitch fouled out of play.
So what happens right there? That was a pretty good pitch. Leyes went out on the plate and fouled it off. Now, Hernandez is a smart enough pitcher that he sees this. Watch the breaking ball. Pretty good pitch. And he's out there on it. Now you come back and you do it again.
And he's got Leyes way out in front, popping him up behind home plate. And Posada takes care of it. The Mamaroneck flash. Scott Leyes pops out for the first out here in the 3rd. A local ball and lots of friends around Yankee Stadium.
That was the breaking ball that he took just a little bit off of, because you saw Jeff King do the same thing, and you saw Leyes right there was out in front, could not stay back.
Yeah, he takes a little bit off, but the big thing is that the hiney is going in the wrong direction.
That's right.
And this is Sweeney taking one inside for a ball.
That's
you
one
get
of
the
those
hiney going in one direction and the arms going in the other, and there's not a whole lot you can do with the baseball. And that's the fastball again. This time it's in for a called strike. Sweeney batting .270, 6 home runs and 24 RBIs. He's a double man, so even though he has 6 home runs, it appears he likes the gappers. That'll be out of play off to the right side.
I don't know what it would be like to face him with that high leg kick. Now, see, that was a high fastball that he kind of got underneath, and it was looked like a spiral going, but the ball was going in on the right-hander.
Tommy, I don't know what it'd be like just to get my leg up that high. Swing and a miss at a breaking ball for a strikeout. So 2 strikeouts now for Hernandez. Try to get your leg up this high.
Well, I would fall right on my butt.
No, you wouldn't. You and I would probably pull about 3 or 4 hamstrings.
Watch, this is amazing. And they said that he has never had a pulled muscle. He has his own. He has his own routine of doing his running and stretching, a sprinter's routine from the Cuban track team.
How about that? Always here at Yankee Stadium, we have those innovative fans that come up with those K signs. Hey, I like that one.
El Duque,
El Duque. A couple Ks for El Duque. Swing and a miss. Mendy Lopez now. 1 ball, 1 strike count to him. The 9th place batter for Tony Buser. Lopez, one of 2 rookies for Kansas City in this lineup today. Well, Kansas City, they are somewhat of a young ball club. They could learn a lot from this Yankee pitching staff. And I mean by yesterday was strictly a lesson from the Yankee pitching staff as compared to the Kansas City Royals. Yankee pitching staff, they didn't walk anybody. The Royals and Pat Rapp got a lesson in the 1st inning. He walked 4, gave up 4 runs. Almost every time he walked somebody, it hurt him.
Tom Bergmeyer and I were talking. Tom, one of the coaches with Kansas City, he said you played 18 innings of baseball. Yankees didn't walk anybody, and the Kansas City Royals walked like 13.
Yeah.
He said, does that tell you why they're leading? He said that's the key to the, you know, it's just, you've got to throw strikes, pitch out in front, and believe me, it's much easier.
Three and 2 count, once again foul out of play. Well, Kansas City is a franchise somewhat in transition anyway. The ownership there is supposedly changing, and they're waiting for that to happen. They say that within, 48 hours, they could be announcing a new ownership group in Kansas City. It's being run by the Kaufman Trust now, which is made up of several board members. Popped him up on the right side. Martinez shading his eyes from the sun, so it's 9 men up and 9 men down for Hernandez. No score here at the stadium. Yankees coming up.
Back by popular demand, the Nissan early model year-end clearance has been extended. Right now, with every new 98 Nissan in America, get an amazing
Here at the stadium, no score between Kansas City and New York. As the chase for Roger Maris is on here in 1998. Mark McGwire has hit 1 today, so he's got 46 now. Sosa also has connected for 1. He's got 44. Griffey 41. Vaughn 39. What is that? Well, what a segue that was. Where in the heck is that sign? You got to be kidding me. All right. Hey, I feel honored to be in that group. Yeah, really. Michael Cooney says that's $1 million sign. This is Scott Brocious. Okay, we've had enough of that. This is Scott Brocious leading off for the Yankees here in the 3rd inning. No score. Yankees with a couple of base hits. That's out of play. Years ago, TJ, really, if we had known that people were going to hang on to those baseball cards for as long as they've been hanging on with them, I would have taken a better picture. I actually tried to take the worst picture I could take because it kept bothering me to pose for these baseball cards. We didn't think much of them back then. Wouldn't you have done a better job? I mean, I'd have put some makeup on and fluffed my hair up a little bit and posed a little, but I didn't. And I mean, they turned out to look awful.
Well, they come down and get you at the worst possible time after you've been working out in spring training. Perspiration running down your face. Your nose is beet red. You look like somebody off the wine wagon.
Yeah, but did you realize that your card is up to 25 cents now?
That's all of them combined.
Was that right?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
all
I didn't know.
26 years.
I just heard 25 cents. I didn't know it was every one of them.
Yeah, that was all of them, cumulative.
All right. Rusch walks. So a leadoff walk for the Yankees here in the third. That'll bring up Knobloch for the second time. So the Yankees have now had a chance to see Glendon Rusch for the first time. And we were talking about walks, and we'll see what happens here with this leadoff walk against the young left-hander. 14 home runs for Knobloch. That's a career high for him. Rusch has 7 stolen bases. As a matter of fact, the Yankees with 123 stolen bases here in 1998. That's second in the American League, just below the Toronto Blue Jays. Up high now. Rusch has fallen behind. 2 balls and no strikes to Knobloch. Hey, Tommy, a big Yankee fan celebrated his 8th birthday yesterday. Nicky Mangione. He is in Mount Sinai Medical Center, so we want to wish him a very happy birthday. And he's a super Yankee fan, so I know he's watching the broadcast today. So happy birthday, Nicky. Maybe Knobloch will do something nice for him right here. 2 balls and a strike. And the off-speed pitch is outside, ball 3. We were talking in the clubhouse today to Keeson, Bergmeyer, and Muser, and they were saying that Rusch has got a good arm. He's young, yeah, and he is, as you said, he's on the job training right now, and he can be so good for 4 innings, and then all of a sudden he has the 5th and 6th inning just killing. Lofted down the right field line and just foul. It had enough to get out of here.
Oh, he's had in 11 of his 14 losses, he's given up 3 or more runs in 1 inning, and that's his problem. Is he has the one bad inning, and usually it's after that one time through the order. In Knobloch getting a little body English, just like in golf, when you start getting that lean, you're trying to make that ball just stay straight.
Nobody out, and Rusch thinks that maybe Brocious will be off of this 3-2 pitch. Joe Torre is pretty safe in sitting his runners on with 1 out and no outs. This ball club very patient at home plate. There goes Brocious, and that will be fouled out of play once again. Talking about the patience of the Yankee hitters up and down this lineup, so they don't swing at many bad pitches.
On a 3-2 pitch, tough pitch. That was a real tough pitch, and Knobloch fouled it off. And this is where they are so good. They make the pitcher throw. He's throwing 5, 6, 7 pitches already, 8 pitches. The more you throw, the more chances you have of making a bad one.
There goes Brocious again, and the pitch is, I guess, a called strike, and it's thrown away at second base into center field. Backing up is Damon. So a stolen base for Brocious. A strikeout for Knobloch and an error on Sweeney. I never saw Garcia make a sign on a ball or a strike.
Yeah, he punched him out right there as inside corner. Actually, Rusch did something that that the pundits say you are not supposed to do, and that is drop down and throw sidearm to an opposite hitter. But he dropped down and nicked the inside corner on Knobloch. Brocious did a good job of the slide, popped up, saw the ball, got out into the outfield, and went on over to third base.
So it works out perfectly for the Yankees, even though it's a strikeout. Derek Jeter now gets a chance to knock in Brocious at third with less than 2 outs, and they're going to bring the infield in early. That's I think that just shows respect for El Duque and Hernandez.
Well, they know that the Yankees have a pitcher out there that you can't let him have a run. If you let him have a run, that 1 run might hold up.
Now the count at 1-1 on Derek Jeter.
I know when the old left-hander was pitching, I hated to see that infield come in early in the game. Boy, because you're leaving yourself open for a possible big inning.
Looks like a Jeter fan to me.
Now, that's the way Posada should have had. Instead of having the black lines, he should have had a little more, had Gene Monahan do a little more artistic work on his face.
Maybe an NY or something like that. She's got a heart drawn, and Jeter in the middle of the heart there. A little tapper, and that's going to be foul off to the right side. Well, Derek Jeter has set a new career high in home runs for himself, and he's only 2 away from the club record. That was set by Roy Smalley back in 1982. Smalley had 16. Well, we've got, what does that say? That's Chuck Knobloch. So we got a Chuck Knobloch fan. They must be sitting together because the designs are the same. Now a little roller. Leyes is at first base. He throws it wide. Brocious will come on to score, and the Yankees will take a 1-0 lead. A mistake by the Kansas City Royals, and once again this ball club by the Yankees takes advantage of it.
Well, Scott Leyes made a bad throw, but I believe Brocious was going to score anyway. He held up until Leyes made his move to first base to throw the ball, and then he's coming in. He would have scored anyway, Bobby, and Leyes just threw it away at first base. I believe that's an RBI for Jeter.
We know one thing, it's a run for the Yankees, and they lead it 1-0. Now O'Neill steps in for the second time. O'Neill struck out his first time up. The fact that Jeter can pick him up and lay him down forced Leyes to not even take a look at Brocious at third. He was only worried about nailing Jeter at first base and threw it wide, rushing his throw because of the speed.
That's absolutely right. We saw Jeter do that up in Seattle on turf, ground balls, and made guys rush their throws because he was hustling all the way. That's
outside and low. We talked about when the inning started, it was the leadoff walk to Scott Brocious, and how many times does that leadoff walk or any walk always come around to haunt you? And it's been one of those unusual runs scored for the Yankees, with a couple of errors in the innings that caused the run for the Yankees at this present time.
What happens, whether it's a leadoff walk or a base hit or an error, if the leadoff man gets on base, about 40% of the time, 45% of the time he scores. But the walk's just absolutely, you can understand a single or an error, but the walk is just a no-no.
And another strike out for Paul O'Neill. That's the second time that he has struck out, and the second time that he has questioned Garcia behind home plate.
That's a pretty good pitch right here. Right over the heart of the plate. Paul, that was a good pitch. The first time up, it might have been a shade outside, but that was a good pitch. See him, he's in, he can't believe it. How'd they call me out?
Second time that O'Neill has struck out. This brings up Bernie Williams. And the pitch is up high. Remember that Jeter is on at first base. He has 23 stolen bases. But a couple of men out. Always a threat to take off. And the slide step now by Glendon Rusch. And the ball is down low for ball 2.
Bobby, Derek Jeter had a walking lead to second base that time. The slide step, I believe, held him up. But he just gets a small lead, and then he'll just walk and he'll bounce.
Hit down the right field line. If it stays fair, it's going to be trouble. And just at the last minute, curves foul. That's twice in this inning. Knobloch almost had a home run. His ball curve foul at the last minute, and this one by Bernie Williams.
Bernie gets that fastball down and away, and he hit that ball. I thought the ball was going to go out. I thought he had enough speed on the ball to get it out. Well, that's a tough call for the umpires. Now, that ball couldn't have been fouled more than a foot or so.
Well, we've had plenty of controversy here at Yankee Stadium on home run balls, and especially in that area. And the one against the Baltimore Orioles, when the youngster Mayer, Tony Tarasco, trying to pull that ball back in, and the youngster Mayer picking up the ball and causing a huge controversy. And the guy that was involved in that call is behind home plate today, and that was Richie Garcia.
Yes, he was. And you know the one thing that he did right? He saw the replays, and when the press asked him about it, he said, yep, I made a mistake.
Didn't help the Orioles anyway.
No, it didn't help the Orioles, but you know, he looked at it and he said, well, when I was hustling out there, and he was, it showed him running out there, and his view was the ball was in the stand.
In the stand, yeah.
And unfortunately, the umpires don't have the use of replays.
Well, they've always used the human element in baseball to make calls, and believe it or not, with the replays that we have up here and the times that we question their calls on the bang bang play, and we go back and look at it on replay, and it shows that they're right most of the time. In on the hands, one hop with the Lopez. They force the runner at second, and the leadoff walk comes back to Hot Rusch. The Yankees lead it now 1-0.
No matter how high the thermometer climbs or how sticky the humidity gets, nothing will be hotter this summer than the deals you'll get during Jeep Summer Days. Like a 0 down, $319 a month Grand Cherokee Laredo lease with only $814 due at signing. Or take advantage of low 1.9% financing. But you'd better hurry in, because deals this incredibly hot are bound to cool down fast. Check one out at your New England Jeep and Eagle dealer.
Everybody's searching for answers. Everybody tries to find some meaning in their life.
This group of us have become this strange kind of other kind of family.
It's nice to go to the same place every day, and there's something familial about that, and very comforting. And then you do develop close friendships like Allison, and it's a special thing.
We really bonded. A lot of the reason it works so well on screens, you know, we're having a good time. I get paid to be a kid. I get paid to make believe. What better a life is there?
New England Actors Theater, performing arts workshops in acting, comedy, voice and speech, movement, singing, commercial voiceovers, Shakespeare, and much, much more. Sites in New Haven and West Hartford. Call for a current brochure, 203-458-7671.
New York Yankees baseball is sponsored by Ford. Expect more, get more. Let your tri-state quality Ford dealers show you why there's more to afford. And welcome back to Yankee Stadium. Bobby Mercer now alongside Susan Wallman, who joins us here in the fourth inning. Glad to see you, Susan.
Glad
Haven't
to
seen
see
you in a long
you.
time.
I know it. But you worked that doubleheader yesterday, and I didn't have to. Did you have a good day?
Hey, we had a great day. Yankees won 2. You know,
what could be better than that? Did you get to go to that
I wanted to play one more.
Dinner?
I wanted to play 3 games yesterday.
But you didn't get to go to that dinner that they had.
No, they didn't invite me to their wonderful buffet that I was talking about. I was only kidding on the air when I said Mr. Steinberg's going to have a great buffet for them. Well, he did, but he didn't invite us.
In case anybody wonders what we're talking about, in the day-night doubleheader, in between games, Gene Monahan and Steve Donahue, the trainers, put together a nutritionally balanced meal in the Yankee Club, protein and carbohydrates. Turkey, a little bit of roast beef, lots of pasta, you know about that from marathon running,
yeah.
And pancakes.
Hey, I would have gone for all of it. But nevertheless, there's Steve Donahue. He was part of that along with Gene Monahan and their nutritionist. This is Johnny Damon. Coming up for the second time, El Duque, Susan, with a no-hitter, and he is set down 9 in a row.
And looks tremendous, doesn't he? Pitching inside, and that right-handed delivery, that quirky delivery and high leg kick is just killing those right-handed bats.
Off the end of the bat, a little dunker out of the left field. Coming on is Spencer, and going out is Jeter, and it falls in front of Shane Spencer for the first base hit. Perfectly placed. It wasn't hit hard. And anybody that does that, that's a baseball player. It'll put a smile on your face.
And of course, this ball goes right in between Derek Jeter and Shane Spencer. And don't forget, Spencer hasn't had a lot of experience out there. Jeter usually goes out and get that, and usually Jeter is looking at Chad Curtis there. And that, I think, is two players that really don't know each other's capabilities. So the ball bounces in between them.
So the first man is on for Kansas City. This will bring up Hal Morris, who bounced out to the infield his first time up. Lined into left field. Spencer coming on. This time he's able to catch up with it. One gone.
Now, it's a very tough field to play. I remember Ricky Henderson always saying that that's the toughest field in baseball is left field at Yankee Stadium. And it looked like Shane may be blinded a little bit on this strange sun in this field.
Well, you know, it's a strange starting time for the Yankees in Kansas City. This 4:05 starting time. As you take a look at the sunshine now, and it engulfs the entire outfield. But the players today, they wear those sunglasses, you know, 24 hours a day, and that helps out a lot.
All different colors. You got sort of the brown tint.
Yeah,
there's the yellow tint and the blue tint.
Whatever meets your fancy in that area. Damon with pretty good speed on at first base. He's got 17 stolen bases. This is Offerman again. He's 0 for 1. Strike one now to Offerman.
Offerman now breaking George Brett's hit streak for Kansas City. He's up to 27 games now. I think Brett had 25.
I think Brett owns it at 30. I think he has the longest hit streak for Kansas City at 30. But anyway, Offerman now with 27. All I know is he still has at least a few more to go to
before we call Joe D. Yeah.
Offerman had really found a home here in Kansas City, though. Former Los Angeles Dodger, and they were talking about Offerman back in his early career, a franchise player for the Dodgers, and he just couldn't settle in at shortstop, and so they finally gave up on him. But I think he's found a home at second base here.
He's been very valuable. He's played first base, he's played some outfield for them, and now settled in at second base with Jeff King coming over.
There goes David. Posada's throw will not be in time. In fact, it one hops. Jeter keeps it in the infield. So a stolen base for Damon, his 18th of the year. And with one out.
Posada angry with himself with that throw. He knew as soon as he lets it go that this isn't going to get the job done. And you see him there, and he's going to get very angry with himself, bounces it on the grass, and Jeter cannot not handle it. Now watch Posada. He knows about this throw. He knows as soon as he does it that he made a mistake there.
Well, it's a bang-bang play for the catcher like it is at second base. But they're trying to make a double play. Look at the play by Orlando Hernandez. A shot right back up the middle. And we've talked about what kind of an athlete he really is and how he feels his position. And
you saw it right there, and we've seen it over and over again. And here's a line shot off the bat of Offerman. Hernandez turns to see if there's any chance to get Damon at second, and there wasn't. But he is just a tremendous athlete. We've seen him fielding bunts. We've seen him on pop-ups. He's right there. He has his own, I heard you talking a little bit, he's got his own way of doing things. And when he came out early, Bobby, to do his wind sprints, a standing ovation from everybody in the stands here.
And this is Dean Palmer once again. Palmer 0 for 1, struck out his first time up against Hernandez. A man in scoring position for Palmer, but he hasn't done that well. Only a .216 batting average with runners in scoring position. Hernandez way in front, no balls and 2 strikes on Palmer.
I'm really surprised that people like Dean Palmer and Tim Belcher are still on this team with the trading deadline pass. This team is not going anywhere, and they're not going anywhere for a while. And you'd think that they'd try and get something back and restock that farm system.
I'm still surprised about the Randy Johnson trade. Between the Yankees and Cleveland and Houston, Seattle going for 3 youngsters. And the 0-2 pitch, Hernandez unable to put him away on that one. Now it's 1-2.
Well, I think what happened was that Woody Woodward was outmaneuvered by Brian Cashman. And Woody Woodward, because he worked for George years ago, thought that George would panic and fold, and he didn't. And Cleveland pulled out of it because they had traded an awful lot of their kids already, and they weren't going to do it. And they were left with nothing. He overplayed his hand.
Yeah. Way outside. But if, and I don't know for a fact, if the names that I were reading in the paper, if it was just 2 of those names, how could you turn that down from the Yankees? And I understand that even on the Cleveland side, there were a couple of pretty good players there, including Giles, that was included in that trade that really would have helped Seattle out on an immediate basis.
Well, people from Cleveland are now claiming at about 11:30 they pulled out and said, no, we're not trading these kids. And they said no to the Yankees, thinking they would fold and they would throw in a Mendoza or throw in a Mike Lowell, and they weren't going to do it. And so at 11:45, Woody Woodward had nobody left but the Houston Astros. He overplayed his hand.
He may have been a year too late. 3 balls and 2 strikes now to Palmer. Good old hard heat from Hernandez, striking out Palmer for the 2nd time. Damon will be stranded at second. Yankees lead it 1-0.
What you want is America's best-selling trucks at a great price. What you need is Ford's factory-authorized clearance. Going on now at your Tri-State Quality Ford store. Because during Ford's factory-authorized clearance, you can get low 0.9% financing on Ford Ranger. That's 0.9% 48-month financing or $1,000 cash back on the best-selling compact pickup in America. What you want is huge savings on Ford Ranger. And what you need is to hurry. Ford's factory-authorized clearance ends soon. Visit your Tri-State Quality Ford store now.
Coming this fall.
So do you smell something funny?
Check your feet. When you're in love, life's a permanent honeymoon.
Until the City League playoffs are over, you stay out of the strike zone.
And together,
hey, Mel!
You can get through anything.
Wait till Mel finds out all those meals I cooked were takeout.
Well, almost anything.
It's when they find out what they thought was PMS is your real personality.
For your love.
Hey, Yankee fans, join the excitement when the New York Yankees battle the Texas Rangers on Thursday, August 13th and Friday the 14th, both at 7:30. Then on Saturday the 15th at 1 and Sunday the 16th at 1:30. On the 13th, fans 21 and older will receive an insulated cooler bag, compliments of Hormel and Land O'Lakes. On the 15th, all fans will receive a 1958 World Series replica pin, compliments of Chase Manhattan Bank. On the 16th, fans 14 and under will receive a Zoog toy, compliments of Primordial. Get your tickets now.
All right, bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees lead it 1-0. It's time to take a look at some out-of-town scores brought to you by Bud. And in the American League, Seattle over Detroit 9-3. That's the final. Oakland 3-2 over Toronto. Game 1 of a doubleheader between Anaheim and Chicago. Chicago leading at 6-3. And the rest of the games a little bit later start this Saturday. Well, let's take a look at the National League. St. Louis and Chicago all tied up at 7. That's in the 11th inning, and McGuire has hit his 46th home run in that game. Tino Martinez leads it off for the Yankees here in the 4th inning. Tino with a base hit to right field, so he's 1 for 1. The Yankees score a run, Susan, in the 3rd inning on no base hits and a leadoff walk and 2 errors.
And I know what you're going to say about the leadoff walk, and doesn't that happen all the time? And the thing, Bobby, that is so remarkable about this team is that every time there seems to be an error, this team takes advantage of it. Somehow, some way, they get that run in.
Well, this is a great team for the Yankees and Joe Torre. They are on a record pace, and these are the types of teams that will take advantage of every little mistake. Martinez pops this one up foul, and Sweeney will take care of it. So there's one gone here in the fourth. You go back to some of the great ball clubs around. I mean, you know, the ball clubs of the Yankees in the 60s. You go back to the Orioles in the early 70s. You can go back to Big Red Machine, Cincinnati, and those balls. If you made a mistake against them, I mean, it may open up the floodgates to score 5 or 6 runs. That's what they were looking for.
And they do it as well as anybody. And, you know, I heard you talking about Glendon Rusch here as Tim Raines steps in. And it's kind of an enigma. This kid is just 23 years old, and what seems to have happened is that his changeup has gotten a little harder, so that there's not a big difference between the fastball and the changeup. Do you let this kid go out there every 5 days and get his head handed to him and lose 20 games at the end of 23? It's kind of an indictment of their AAA club, because there's nobody to bring up to send him down, so they really don't know what to do with him, and Tony Muser's trying everything.
Well, I think it's kind of a statement in what is happening in baseball today. You know, he's on the job training here with Kansas City. Is he better off in the big league getting beat and learning at the same time? Hopefully he is learning. Or is he better in AAA and maybe learning on that level? Obviously, Kansas City thinks that he's better off up here, even though that he's struggling a little bit. He was 6-9 last year. He was their #1 prospect, him and Rosado.
They don't really have a choice down at AAA. There's really nothing down there that they want to bring up and even close to the major league level. But then you look, it depends on his heart and his mental fortitude. Tommy Glavine took hits for a couple of years, right? Got his head handed to him for 2 years.
Well, I think that's that's a tough call, but that's a personal call from the manager and the pitching coach on how he is handling what is happening to him on the major league level as he walks Raines with 1 out here in the 4th inning.
And this has been his problem, is walking people. He just picks at corners, used to come right at people last year, and you wonder, Bobby, if that's a function of maybe getting hit around a little bit, that he's starting to pick on the outside of the plate and not going right at batters anymore.
Well, the last walk came around to score, and Posada will step in for the 2nd time. He's 0 for 1. Joe Torre likes to hit and run. And that pitch up high for a ball, 1-0. Raines really doesn't run that much anymore, even though he has 7 stolen bases. But we really don't see him take off as much as we used to. I think more than anything else, Raines he along with Joe Torre protecting those legs.
I think you're right. You want to keep him healthy throughout this season and throughout the postseason. It's a lot more important than him stealing bases. There are enough people on this team that can take a base.
Well, here's the count right here, 2-0, 1 out. They want to try something. Nothing going, and the pitch on the inside corner for a call strike. Toyota box score for New York, only a couple of base hits, but they've scored a run. Jeter and Martinez with the only base hits so far. Inside for ball 3, 3-1. Posada in double digits as far as home runs are concerned, 13. Like many of these Yankee players. Posada also has contributed 40 RBIs. That'll be fouled and out of play.
And if you look at the home run totals on this team and start, there's Joe Girardi on the bench, who Posada calls his big brother. Talks to him between every single inning, tells him what he did right, what he did wrong, taking him under his wing. Now, get back to the home runs. If you look down, everybody in double digits, except obviously Shane Spencer, between 14, 18, 14, 17, right, everybody right around the same amount of home runs instead of one guy with 40 and everybody else with 10.
Yeah, the guy that leads the Yankees in home runs is Darryl Strawberry with 21. And he has 21 home runs and only 224 at bats. There goes Raines with the pitch, and the throw down to second is in time. The call was a strikeout on Posada and a throw out at second base, so it turns into a double play. Yankees are gone, but they lead it 1-0.
It's so reliable, you could practically weld the hood shut and drive it forever. The new Correct.
8:59.
at the stadium, top of the 5th inning. Yankees lead it 1-0. And Susan, family day here at the stadium.
Oh, there's little Jordan Strawberry. No, he's going back here. Look at that. Little Darryl. There's David Brocious. He's, I think he said he's 18 months old or 20 months, and he's a lefty. And we were playing catch in the clubhouse before the game, David and I, and he's got some arm. Well, he's a lefty.
Hey, David Brocious, you saw he kicked the ball. Many times when I kicked the ball here at Yankee Stadium, I wanted to grab a hold of my mama's hand, too.
Too far to reach to Oklahoma, though.
What a beautiful day it is when you have the family here to enjoy this beautiful day. I know everybody has had a lot of fun. This is Jeff King leading off for Kansas City. King, Sutton, and Leas, the scheduled 3 up for Kansas City against Hernandez. High pop-up. Right side, everybody's shading away from the sun. It's Knobloch who makes the play. 1 gone.
El Duque pitching masterfully, and you know what? He was out by himself doing wind sprints, and you just wonder, Bobby, this man is very alone. We've heard the story here. He's all by himself here, and with all these little children around today. I know he's a very emotional man. I'm sure this must have hurt him very badly. He talks about his daughters and thinks about his 2 little girls all the time. This has got to be a very difficult day for him.
They're still back in Cuba.
Still back in Cuba. And with all these little children in the clubhouse, he was out by himself in the outfield running.
Well, I'm sure he knows that where there is a will, there's a way. And before it's all over with, I'm sure that El Duque, or we hope that El Duque can join up with his family here in America before too long.
I sure hope so. I know that he's trying to get his mom out, and I know that they're trying to work on getting his brother out of prison in Cuba. This is tough, and we forget about how, you know, the baseball game is over and he's by himself.
This is Larry Sutton. 0-2 pitch. It up high. Now it's 1-2. This ball club here, the Yankee ball club as a whole, as Sutton pops this one up, he's way out in front. Long run for Bernie Williams, and he will get there. A nice sliding catch from Williams in center field. And there's 2 gone.
And a great play by Bernie. Looked like the sun blinded him a little bit and wasn't sure whether Knobloch was coming out or whether he was going to have to go in. And there he is, and he's yelling for it. And just at the last minute, it looks like the ball tails off, and he reaches out and gets it. Nice play by Bernie Williams and Chuck Knobloch for getting out of the way at the last minute.
Well, it's up to the outfielder to call everybody off, and Bernie had the best view of it. Well, this ball club as a whole, Susan, like they took Hideki Arabu under their wings in spring training. They wanted to make him feel more part of this Yankee family and put a smile on his face. I'm sure they have done and will continue to do the same thing with El Duque. That's just the kind of family that this 25-man roster has put together.
You know, it sounds like a cliche, and it's not. And when you get to be around these men every day, you really do see that is how it is.
And this is Scott Leas, 0-2 count to him, and even Scotty Leas, who is a part of this New York scene here out of Mamaroneck. As we take a look at the Toyota box score, his son, Mickey Leas, is battling leukemia. He's only 2 years old, so you know, a tough time for the Leas family. We wish them all the best, and especially Mickey. And
it looks like he's got a long road ahead of him, but will be all right. And he starts his heavy-duty chemo pretty soon. And to put it all in perspective, as someone said to me, they're potty training him and giving him chemo all at the same time.
Bless his heart. Outside, and that's ball 2-2 on Leas.
Scotty was saying how his son shows more courage than any adult he's ever seen in his life.
He said he gets his strength from his son, and his son is his hero for sure. El Duque sidearms Leas for the strikeout. So Kansas City has gone here in the 5th. Yankees lead it 1-0.
Back by Pop.
Yankees lead it 1-0 here in the bottom of the 5th inning. El Duque talking it over with Girardi and also David Cohn. You know, Susan, Hernandez's English is getting a lot better now.
Oh, yeah. I think within a month he's going to be very, very fluent. He'll talk to you. You can have a conversation with him like he'll talk on the plane. When he sees microphones, he doesn't want to make a mistake, and he doesn't want to be embarrassed, so he won't talk to the press. But he does have a conversation, and he reads everything they've gotten in books. He listens to tapes. He's learning.
And this is Shane Spencer. 1-1 count to Spencer. Spencer in his first time up in the second inning. As we take a look at the quote of the week by David Wells, we have some guys coming off the bench who maybe aren't power hitters. And this could be a base hit for Spencer. Coming on, a nice play by Larry Sutton. He came a long ways to take a base hit away from Shane Spencer. A nice diving catch by the rookie right fielder.
And it looks like maybe he pulled something a little bit there, but a good piece of hitting by Shane Spencer going with the pitch. Sutton just makes a tremendous play on this one. Just diving for it. Looks like he was shaking up a tiny little bit on that. But this rookie right fielder is playing very well for Tony Muser.
Well, he wants to take that hit away from another rookie. He doesn't want anybody to outshine him. And this is Rusch's. Let's finish the quote. We have some guys coming off the bench who maybe aren't power hitters, but they'll scrap and create havoc. That's on last night's game from David Wells. And boy, is that true. The Boomer, he's been known to create a little havoc in his time.
Some year he's having. This has got to be the best year. Even that year when he started off 8-0, this has got to be the most proficient year he's ever had in the big leagues.
No doubt about it. And I'm sure he's talking about the guys that were batting 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th in the order for Joe Torre last time. Yeah, they had 12 hits and scored 80% of the runs. Unbelievable.
Soho, isn't it amazing? Soho comes off the bench, doesn't play for a couple of weeks, goes 3 for 5. I asked him yesterday, we were talking about Soho was talking about Shane Spencer. They were kidding Spencer about his 2 home runs. And I said to Louis, what did you do in your first start out there? He said, I went 3 for 5. I had a home run, but I made 3 errors.
Yeah. You know, Soho, he was hit his first triple last night, drove in 2 or 3 runs on that triple. He would be playing today, but he's pooped. He ran out of gas.
Is that what he told you?
Oh, yeah.
He said he was pooped?
Yeah, he was pooped. And this is Rusch fouling out to Sweeney. So 2 gone here in the 5th inning for the Yankees. Boy, there's a lot of equipment there. Watch out. That's some pretty fancy footwork.
Very live for a catcher. Ex-manager Bob Boone loved this kid, said he was a throwback catcher. Loved the way he blocked the plate, loved the way he hit, handles pitchers.
2 gone for New York, and that'll send up Chuck Knobloch. Knobloch 0 for 2. The left-hander out on the mound today for Kansas City. He has lost 5 in a row. Hit hard down the left field line, and it hits off the foul pole in fair territory for a home run, a line drive home run from Chuck Knobloch, his 15th of the year, and the Yankees lead it 2-0.
And another line drive home run to left field by Chuck Knobloch, who now has more homers than any Yankee since the All-Star break. Now Glendon Rusch trying to come inside and gets it up right over the plate, and Knobloch can turn on it and gets right on the inside part of that pole. You know, you can say as much as you want. You want your leadoff hitter just to get on, walk, get a single, get a double.
Well, Derek Jeter bounces to Leas at third, but Knobloch with a 2-out home run. Here it is as we take another look at it. Yankees will take a 2-0 lead on that 50.